was impressed about what you said about these three parts of reaction about pot. Can you explain a little bit more of that?
Yeah, I mean, people have beliefs about things instead of objective, scientifically, objectively informed opinions. And once they seem like they've developed this belief, they just start attracting and looking for confirmation of their belief. Mm-hmm. So when you will find studies that say this or that, and if you look at the statistics or the design of the study, you can see you can't really say what they're saying based on the design of the study or the statistics. When I was looking through all the research, there was actually a book called Pot, The Gateway to Health. So there are whole books written that support that point of view. So it's not surprising that it's so confusing out there. I mean, there are actual books written by medical doctors who say such things.
Hmm. And then there are also those who are seeing it the devil.
Yeah, well, and a good example of that, I don't know if you ever remember the movie Reefer Madness. Mm-hmm. It was basically it was a U.S. government propaganda movie that I saw when I was in, I think, ninth grade, and it scared the heck out of me. Basically, it had a guy who fell into smoking pot. He, as I've said before, he turned into a werewolf without fur, and he assaulted his girlfriend. He got fired from his job, and he kind of went insane. So it had the effect of scaring me, but then the first time you have a friend who smokes pot and you watch to see when they start going crazy, and they don't. In fact, they seem like they're having more fun than you are. All that fear-based propaganda just falls away, and I think it actually does more harm than good because people don't believe it anymore. Mm-hmm.
So. And what you said about what the real effect of marijuana, shifting the emotion into, transforming emotion into sensation, it's really scary. Mm-hmm. Because this is what happens in our society in general already. We are becoming more sensitive and less emotional, more brainy and less practical. Mm-hmm. And marijuana is helping society going in this direction. It's very scary.
And one thing that I want to say in the presentation that is so important about that is everything that's destructive about it is more destructive now because the potency of marijuana has gone so high, it's so out the roof. It used to be back in the 60s and 70s, the average THC content was down 5%. And now, because there's some very smart people doing genetic research and breeding, the THC content has been manipulated so you can get samples of 20% THC, sometimes even as high as 35% have been seen. Mm-hmm. It's like going from drinking a light beer to having 14 shots of vodka. Wow. So it's not even like the same drug as it was in the 60s and 70s. But people don't realize that.
I don't know if this has come up for you guys, but one way I connect with patients who may smoke themselves or have friends that smoke is that they talk about the effect it has for them. A lot of times that's numbing some of their emotions, and that's actually a way I found to connect with them is to say, yeah, it does, and but what about the alternative? What about addressing maybe the anger that I did a lot of my training in Philadelphia in some rough neighborhoods, and a lot of the guys smoked so they wouldn't feel so angry. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of rationalizing, well, I'm not going to go get in a fight. I'm not going to get expelled from school if I smoke because I'm going to feel less angry. And so I always pose a question, what about an alternative? Mm-hmm. What about another way to address your emotions rather than just numbing it?
Like in psychotherapy, right?
Yeah.
That's a great point. And I sometimes will say, that works, you're right. But unfortunately, we only have one nervous system, not 8 different nervous systems for each different emotion. So if you dull your awareness of anger, you're also dulling your awareness of love and pleasure and other kinds of emotions that you want to have, and the overall effect is a sort of flattening of emotions that we see.
And flattening emotion, transforming emotion into sensation are all mark of psychosis. So that's why many pre-psychotic young people can get psychotic.
Yes.
But also normal or just neurotic young people can get more sick.
Yes. Yeah. They used to
Nobody
not,
talking about that.
they used to not believe that people would actually get psychotic. There were a lot of people that said that's just a scare tactic. But I actually have had two patients who became psychotic.
Me too.
And they were both, one was a Korean boy that was very shy and awkward and vulnerable, and some boys in his dorm thought it'd be funny to get him stoned, and he went along with it passively, and he went downhill drastically and became psychotic. Had ended up on some pretty serious medications. And with a lot of support, he got through the year, came back, graduated the next year, and went to New York to work. And before I was leaving to go on vacation in July, I got a call from a psychiatrist at Bellevue Hospital, and he was there, and he had smoked marijuana one more time and had another psychotic reaction. So it really does happen.
I have a case where a college student, 19 years old, smoked marijuana once, one hit, and became floridly psychotic and was hospitalized, and his life's never been the same. He dropped out of school, lost his girlfriend, couldn't drive, couldn't work, and it was very traumatic. One use.
I always feel like I want to jump and say, because when people hear that, they don't believe it. And the reason they don't believe it is because that's not their experience. They've smoked pot, they didn't go crazy. In fact, they thought it was kind of fun, they had a good time. And that's true, that's accurate. But the subtle, insidious, pervasive, slow effect it has that's cumulative over time that you don't notice is really, it's not as abrupt as a psychotic break, but it's every bit as important.
I wonder if part of that is the confusion where, as psychiatrists and psychologists here, they may not have the same trust that they used to when there's all this confusion with, like you said, medical doctors publishing why marijuana should be legal and why it can be helpful.
It's the ultimate anti-authoritarian move, the marijuana lobby trying to introduce something that goes so against the laws of the land. The federal government's holding firm about it being illegal. The state, it's almost like Dr. Coney even called it another civil war, where the states are doing what they're doing against the federal government. And being from the South, I usually pull for the states, but in this case, I'm with the feds. It's just such a sad thing that people can't enjoy their lives and have pleasure without
it.
resorting to outside substances to bring that about or help them think they're having a good time.
Or prevent them from seeing that maybe I should do something about why am I not enjoying things the way I should be or could be.
I can make changes in my life that are healthy.
Yeah.